Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to talk on this whole deal with WWE and TKO, because here's the thing. I'm going to just keep it a buck with y'all. I think TKO is ruining WWE. I don't know who it is that's behind TKO, that's making all these calls for things to happen within the WWE, but I'm like, fam, you have to understand what WWE is and what wrestling is. It is an art, alright? You can't mess with an art. You can't go up to a painting that already has its foundation and everything laid out and be all like, oh, you know what? Maybe we should change this. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should. No, you have to leave that painting alone. If you decide to buy that painting, yes, buy it. It's yours. You could do whatever it is that you want to do with it. But my thing is this, right? If you can't appreciate art for what it is, should you really be fooling around with that art? You know, like, and that's the thing, like, when you look at musicians, when you look at actors, when you look at painters, when you look at content creators, when you look at all of these different people that is behind some form of art, behind some form of entertainment, just creating content with something, right? Do you see people in their ear telling them, do this, do that, do this, do that? No. James Cameron, for an example. Okay, now when he came out with that first Avatar movie, we didn't know what to expect. But we knew what James Cameron was about, and we knew that that man was going to create a masterpiece when it came to that first Avatar movie. And he did. Then he waited, took some time with the next Avatar movie, and that one was good. He didn't take as much time with the third one, but that one was good. Because the thing is this man is in creative control of what Avatar needs to be. Now, if it was on some stuff where I think Disney, doesn't Disney, they're the ones that's I guess like they do own the rights to the Avatar, because ain't Avatar like it's at Disney World, I believe it's at Disney World. So, but imagine if Disney was like, we want this to happen, we want that to happen. That movie wouldn't be as good, because it's not coming from him. And I know when it came down to me being a content creator, that was the one thing that I wanted to make sure of and let people know as I started to grow as a content creator, that I appreciate the support. I appreciate everything that my fans do for me. But when you assume that because, I'm a subscriber, that I have control over your channel, you don't. You don't have control over my channel. I've had to tell people that. I'll never forget. I remember when I was going through some drama and a person commented that, saying that, I'm subscribed to your channel. And I think it was just a hater just trying to, make it seem like, if I use my big boy voice, he'll listen to me. But no, I remember at one point in time when I was going through some drama on the internet, and this guy commented underneath my video talking about, I'm subscribed to you, so therefore that means I have control over your channel and what gets uploaded and all this other stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, fam, I could delete this channel, disappear, go get me a 9-to-5 working for whatever business, and you would not have not one say-so a part of that. The only thing that you could do is just try to go along with it and make it seem like that you have some sort of control over it. You don't. You don't have no control over a person on whatever it is that they are doing. So that leads me back down to TKO and the WWE. Now, for those that don't know, yes, I am a wrestling fan. I've been a wrestling fan since 2007. I still remember the very first moment that made me into a wrestling fan. It was when they were showing highlights of Backlash 2007. And they showed that part where Undertaker and Batista, they were up at the stage fighting with each other. And then Batista speared Undertaker off the stage collapsed. Some explosions had happened. And I remember watching that, and I'm thinking to myself, these guys died. But you know what, though? This was entertaining. I gotta watch more of this. And then I think it was shortly afterwards I had watched that. I think it was a steel cage match that they did on a SmackDown. By the way, this is SmackDown that we're talking about. But anyways, so they had it where they did this steel cage match, and I think both of their feet had touched at the same time, and they were trying to determine who won. And I'm like, man, this is some like amazing writing. That was the one thing with Undertaker. I remember when getting into wrestling and just seeing all the different stories surrounding him, like when he had his rivalry with Edge, Big Show, Batista. I'm trying to think of some other, Mark Henry. I'm trying to think of some other people. Didn't he have like a little rivalry going on? I think that was going on kind of at the same time, but Mark Henry and Big Daddy V. Who else? But I was always glued to the TV when Undertaker was on there. And then with Batista, I was like, oh, bro, this man's a beast. Like, he's going to kill it regardless of whatever it is that he's doing. And then John Cena, and I'm like, man, this man is just pure strength. He can lift wrestlers over his head and do all these other different crazy things. Now, overall, though, I feel like the point that I'm trying to make is that, and I'm not trying to say that wrestlers today, they're not like how the wrestlers are back then. I love the wrestlers today. The thing is this, you can give me a wrestler's name and I guarantee and I promise you, I have a favorite moment from every single wrestler. Every single wrestler. And I know people are like, oh, well, how about Obafemi? He's new to the scenes. I like that guy. I like everything about Obafemi. They are making this man into an unstoppable beast. Like, he is pretty much taking Brock Lesnar's place as that beast in wrestling, where it's like, okay, who's going to be able to take this man out? All right. He just pretty much out beast Brock Lesnar. So it's like, what could we possibly do to like really elevate Obafemi? But that ain't even a question for WWE. That's a question because no, it doesn't even seem like that WWE is in control anymore. So you got to ask TKO this question. What are your guys' plans with Obafemi? What, y'all gonna have him having a cotton candy match and for what, the SummerSlam, WrestleMania? He's just fighting a big old giant bag of cotton candy. Oh, because it's some new, let's say cotton candy has like some new trend or something. Everybody loves cotton candy. So what, you gonna have it, maybe not Obafemi, but you gonna have like what, the Miz or something. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, look, fam, I feel like what they're trying to do is recreate what WWE was. Like, they're trying to recreate what WWE was when Vince McMahon was in charge. And I'm like, that's the thing. Vince McMahon, he was his own person. He had an idea of what he wanted for wrestling. He knew what he wanted to do with wrestling. Now, can you say that he knew more than the wrestlers? Maybe not, because I feel like there's wrestlers that was coming from all over, and then when they go into the WWE, then it's like, okay, I have to adapt to what this is. But overall, though, it's like, I feel like that when it came down between who knew wrestling more, between Vince McMahon and TKO, Vince McMahon 100%. And the reason why I say that is because we're not looking at TKO's version of WWE. We're looking at TKO picking up the pieces of what was left from Vince McMahon on the WWE, like what it is now. But overall, though, it's like, you can't look at what WWE, what it is today and be like, oh, yeah, this is the same WWE when Vince McMahon was in charge. No, it is not. Because my thing is this, their WWE did have like its issues and problems, but overall though, and I feel like the one thing I feel like a lot of people will say that they didn't like about the WWE was the PG era when Vince McMahon, when he was in charge and stuff, they didn't like the PG era. Me, I had no problems with the PG era. I was like, okay, it's like wrestlers can't cuss and we can't really see blood that much, but we are still seeing wrestlers having crazy matches. We're still seeing matchups. We're seeing any and everything's possible into, elevating what WWE was. I didn't see nothing wrong with what WWE was during the PG era. And then I just remember that one year everybody says, oh yeah, that was the worst year with WWE was it 2019? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, me personally, I feel like the worst year with WWE, not so much as because of what was going on with it, but because of what was going on in the world. But COVID 2020, I feel like that wasn't the best year for WWE because that was when they tried to do wrestling but without the fans. I did not like that. I'm like, nah, bro, I gotta hear cheering. I gotta hear some noise. Hearing wrestlers breathe and all these other different things, the side conversations that they're having. I'm like, fam, that it was watchable, but at the same time, I'm like, this isn't it, bro. I'm like, I can't work with this. I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. But at the same time, it's like, because of what was going on in the world, it's like, okay, they did the best that they could. TKO, what's your guys' excuse? There ain't nothing going on in the world. There ain't but what you're doing with wrestling, I mean, my thing is this. I looked at a lot of different WrestleManias, and it looks like a lot of them had like the in-between matches where they were under 20 minutes and stuff, but they were still some main event matches. And I have to say, the one WrestleMania where I'm like, TKO, I don't think they were all the way in control of WWE, but they did at the time own WWE, but it was WrestleMania 40, that big WrestleMania where Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes was going up against each other, and you had The Rock, Seth Rollins. Didn't Cody Rhodes get involved? I feel like he might, or I think he just came out and celebrated. But John Cena, The Undertaker. I mean, I think it was like everybody got involved. That was just one big giant fight, and I'm like, man, they don't get no better than that. That TKO, I'll have to say. And whatever you guys were doing, like if you guys was in control or not, if you guys weren't in control of the creative side of WWE, that's where WWE should have elevated at. But it just seemed like that it kind of just went downhill, because it's like you're seeing a lot of the different things that's happening. I mean, just with this past WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes wasn't supposed to win. Randy Orton was supposed to win, and it had something to do with the creative side of WWE changing it at the last second. And I'm thinking to myself, fam, why would it have been a problem if Randy Orton would have won the match? Like, I don't get that. I don't understand that. Like, what's going on? I mean, if this man got injuries that he ain't, tending to, and he can't be a champion, then it's like, okay, then yeah, have it where Cody Rhodes. But it's like, okay, if this is a healthy man, there ain't nothing wrong with them, then it's like, fam, what's the problem? I mean, that just to me doesn't even make any sense. What would you like? Guys gonna come out? Oh, we're gonna come out with the TKO Heavyweight Championship, and then it's like, oh, he can win that, but it ain't gonna be the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship, fam. The thing is this with TKO, it's like what trips me out though with TKO and what they're doing with WWE is that you can find somebody that plays WWE 2K26 on YouTube, Twitch, whatever, and they put up better matchups in WWE Universe, or have it at least where there's better outcomes to the matchups in WWE Universe. But I can't say that overall like the matchups are bad. It's just how TKO goes about it creative wise. It's like, fam, and my thing is this: if TKO ain't got nothing to do with the creative side to WWE, then it's like, okay, whoever it is, then this episode is directed towards you. Just take out TKO and put in whoever it is that is in control of the creative side of WWE. But the reason why I do say it's TKO, because I seen a tweet earlier today saying that TKO pretty much has full creative control over WWE. And my thing is this: do you guys know how to run a wrestling business? Like, and I know people will probably ask me that same question. Do I know how to run a wrestling business? If the opportunity presented itself, yes, I think I would be able to run a wrestling business. The reason why is because I might not be no professional wrestler, but if it meant that I had to become a professional wrestler to understand the wrestling business even more, then I'm like, fam, so be it. I'm like, my thing is this: I watch it weekly. I watch moments on YouTube. I play the video games. I've been watching it for years. It ain't like I'm new to wrestling, fam. I feel like by doing this episode, I know what I'm talking about. And what's so funny about this too is that with this whole situation going on with TKO right now, what wrestlers is coming out and defending TKO? What wrestlers is coming out and saying like, oh, you guys got TKO all wrong? You know how I look at WWE? I look at it as a regular 9-to-5 job. Obviously, there's more, work going on with it and stuff. But no, I say that because I would imagine these wrestlers, like, it's probably somebody like Roxanne and CM Punk, where they just standing around talking, and they just be like, man, the higher ups, TKO, like, it just like how you would at your job and talking about the higher ups or the manager or whatever, and how they're just, messing up the business, or they're just not good management and stuff. I guarantee and I promise you wrestlers are having that same conversation talking about TKO. My thing is this: if not, then prove me wrong. Prove me wrong on what I had just said. Because didn't CM Punk, didn't he call out TKO, or he said something about like tickets, and when he cut that promo and stuff? So I'm like, fam, if CM Punk, my thing is this: if this man, I feel like when he gets close to retirement, he is going to let off both barrels when it comes down to what TKO and what wrestling. But CM Punk, he's somebody that I would trust as a figure in the wrestling community. Because it's like, he's somebody where I feel like he wants what's best for wrestlers. TKO, on the other hand, I feel like what they're thinking of is like, no, pretty much, and it's no pun intended, but at the same time, I feel like they're on kind of like how WWE was, that whole trend where they was like, oh, we're just doing what's best for business. That's TKO. They heard that and they're just running with it. And it's like, fam, okay, do what's best for business. All right, do what's best for the WWE on the business perspective. But at the same time, fam, you have to have it where WWE, this is the place that you go to make stars. This is the place that you go to really showcase your wrestling abilities and stuff. When you got things going on that shouldn't even be happening, or changing things at the last second, having celebrities involved with matches left and right, and I'm like, my thing is this: if Pat McAfee, Lil Yachty, who else? Jelly Roll. I'm trying to think of some other people. If these guys are actual, true, legitimate wrestling fans, now I look at it, it's like, okay, I would have wanted that same opportunity to be a part of wrestling. But I feel like it needs to be showcased. I think with Lil Yachty, it was showcased that he's a big wrestling fan. I think same with Pat McAfee, Jelly Roll. I really don't know him too much, but I imagine as much as they've had him involved, he has to be a wrestling fan too. But I feel like that there is so much talent that could have very well been involved with WrestleMania. And I'm like, fam, I mean, even with the Andre the Giant Battle Royale match, and they're gonna have that on a SmackDown. I think they have been doing that for the past like year or two or something like that, but I'm like, why not have it a part of WrestleMania? I mean, to have it, and it was funny because my family, they know how much of a wrestling fan I am, and they know that I watch WrestleMania every year. And that is one thing, like, WrestleMania usually goes off late. Fam, the sun wasn't even done setting when WrestleMania had went off on both nights. Like, it was still light outside. I'm saying, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, bruh, you have to really, and I mean really, sit down and think about it. This had to have been, even though because I feel like that before, like, matches, the reason why it felt like WrestleMania was so long before, because they had more matches. Now they're trying to do everything in night one, night two, and maybe that is the reason on why it's shorter. But I'm like, okay, if you're doing a 2-night event, all the different, I'm saying, I feel like that WrestleMania should be the place where all wrestlers showcase, whether you guys got to do battle royales. I mean, WrestleMania needs to be a war zone for wrestlers. I mean, it needs to be rivalries. It needs to be everything possible. But I'm like having it where it's like, oh, let's have some stuff leading up to WrestleMania the day before on SmackDown, or the night after on Monday Night Raw. I'm like, fam, yeah, they did have it where it was some wrestlers wrestling, from WrestleMania tonight on Monday Night Raw. But man, I mean, having it where it's just, I think, because no, didn't they? Yeah, they had tonight, they had Royce Keys sitting off up in the crowd. And I'm like, so you guys won't have him at WrestleMania, but you'll have him sitting off in the crowd in Monday Night Raw. If that's a TKO thing, then I'm like, man, no, WWE, you guys need to cut a deal with somebody else. I'm like, I don't know how that would work out. I guess it would be left up to TKO on selling the business. But man, I mean, it's just crazy what WWE is right now. And I'm like, and if this is all TKO's fault, I'm like, fam, put me in the creative seat of what needs to be happening with wrestling. Because I'm like, it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, I guess, like, just like how it is with video games, I feel like I know what I'm talking about when it comes down to wrestling. You know, I might not talk about wrestling as much like how I do video games, but I feel like I have an idea of what wrestling needs to be when it comes down to entertaining the fans. You know, but having it where it's just, oh, let's make it more. I guarantee and I promise you, with TKO being the owners, if they don't sell the business no time soon, we're going to see a WrestleMania with no wrestlers and nothing but celebrities. Shoot, I might even be a special guest referee for one of those matches. We're going to have Barack Obama going up against Bill Clinton. Who else are we gonna have? We gonna have Kim Kardashian going up against Cardi B. We gonna have what else? There's probably gonna be some YouTubers. I Show Speed going up against Kai Cenat. I probably will watch that match because I just will be curious to see what will happen. But anyways, then they're gonna probably do like some legend stuff. David Arquette going up against who else could we name off? That was Hugh Jackman. Who else? Then they have Al Sharpton. Yeah, they're gonna have Al Sharpton going up against who else? Who could we say? Morgan Freeman. It's gonna be a WrestleMania where it's like, fam, where the wrestlers at? I guarantee and I promise you, okay, so maybe I might be a little bit too dramatic, but I guarantee and I promise you there is gonna be a WrestleMania where people ask that question, where the wrestlers at? Because we're seeing more celebrities than wrestlers. They probably will do a thing where somebody does a countdown, like they show more celebrities than they show wrestlers. what's going on with that. So I'm like, TKO, you guys gotta understand, WWE ain't about, yeah, do some guest appearances here and there, but having it where it's like, I mean, what, Jelly Roll, I think they say he had more time than any other wrestler on that, what was it, that one SmackDown, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, people ain't watching SmackDown for Jelly Roll. If they want to watch Jelly Roll, that man got music. Watch a music video of his. But yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with WWE and TKO. I'm like, if it is TKO that's ruining WWE, then I'm like, man, I genuinely feel sorry for them, you know. But if this is a WWE thing, then I'm like, you guys got to change. Like, whatever it is that you got going on, you got to change that. So, but anyways, with that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.